And a good morning to everybody out there. It's a brand new Thursday morning here. Get up for a fresh start, fresh energy, new opportunity. The week is not yet done, so hey, wake up and let's go. Give it one more shot because hey, tomorrow's a Friday, then you can relax.
How funny, right? Yes,
Yeah.
every day is a chance to begin again. Don't focus on the failures of yesterday. Start today with positive thoughts and expectations. Another beautiful Thursday morning.
Yay.
Thursday day has rolled in and we are pretty excited.
We should start a motivational song together, like a podcast or something. But Mike will not be a part of our podcast, that's for sure. Hey, Mike, how you doing, man?
How much you gonna pay me?
Winfrey, too, you are looking fantastic. Oh, my goodness.
Thank you. Good morning, Nigeria.
Good
Good morning.
to you guys.
Good morning.
Alrighty.
Anyways, well,
Hey,
welcome, guys.
welcome, everybody.
To another special edition of Wake Up Nigeria. And we're here to make sure your day starts out gently and positively. It's a feel-good show. All the positive vibes, good energy, fun, excitement,
Absolutely,
beauty.
Talk about beauty. We endeavor to stay with you guys all through the show, and we've got the next hour and 45 minutes to make good on that promise, so we're going to be spending that time with you. My name is, of course, Mazino Appeal.
And of course, I am Email Quartet. Do not forget, you can stream the show live at tvcentertainment.tv and on Facebook at TVC Connect.
Yes, and please, yes, they should not forget.
You should tell me.
Don't forget to download the app, guys. Android and iOS, it's free, of course, and you can follow us across all social media platforms at TVC Connect.
We also implore you to follow us on all our social media platforms at TVC Connect, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Yes, we are on TikTok.
Yeah.
You want to see us be goofy, on and offset? Follow us on TikTok.
Yeah, I do that on a regular, so you can catch me being goofy any time. It's all good. Anyhow, hey, the show starts here, and first on our list is a conversation on a brachial plexus. That's a BPI for short. It's an injury, an umbrella term for a variety of conditions affecting the nerve network that originates in the neck and provides movement and sensation in the arms and the hands as well. Now, we will have Ngozi Ekong, a mom of two and the founder of Conquering BPI, an online and offline support group for moms and kids with BPI, to talk about this.
Then we have some beautiful art pieces from hyper-realistic visual artist Naira Osiobe. He uses colored tip felt pen to create an alluring illusion, and I can't wait to have him join us this morning.
Yes, indeed. And next up, book chat. Today for Thursday, our book in focus is titled Woman Like the Sea, a gentle reminder your beauty is magic, a collection of praise for women. The author, Chi Collins, will be here to talk about this awesome piece.
Yes.
Welcome, Thursday edition here. Mike looking all snazzy and all.
October 24th.
Well, then she takes the picture. I mean, look at that lady.
As in, Kimo.
Oh, sorry, you too.
Have you ever tried wearing a kimono?
Sorry, no, it's okay.
Have you ever tried wearing a kimono? Maybe I'll try it.
What, pajamas? No, thank you.
Kimono.
I know, they just look like pajamas to me.
But
That's
I
why
think they'll look
that.
really nice.
I want to try. I want to be a bit
eccentric.
or what do you call it?
Eccentric.
On the edge.
Are you looking
Yeah.
for visa to Japan again? Your Brazil one has not come through.
Brazil's confirmed.
In any case, guys, something very interesting has happened. So on Monday, I got myself a set of Bluetooth earphones. And I've been listening constantly to music since Monday. And I must say that the quality of life you live when you listen to music constantly is very different from the quality of life you live when you're just not.
I agree with
Because I've been so happy since then. I don't know, you saw me pop out of my car this morning, and I was doing this.
It also depends on the type of music you're listening to.
Exactly.
Yeah, well, true,
That's
because
it.
I really do not understand
That's
why people wake up in the morning and the first thing you're listening to is bedu, those loud music.
But
like
maybe not loud.
you know, it's usually loud.
Yeah, I know, not the
it's
kind.
always loud, and I never understand it because I'd rather wake up in the morning and listen to something very, calm, soothing, inspirational. That speaks to my soul.
That's what makes each of us unique, and that's why it's interesting. I love it that someone has something a different need or a different proclivity from my own.
What would you listen to early in the morning?
It depends on the mood. Depends on what it is. But I would not. I wouldn't really want to listen to something too cool or cool.
Because you need the energy.
Oh, really?
Because of what we do.
You need that boost.
I need so especially if I'm driving down here. I can't be listening. I feel sleepy.
Yeah, I get you.
Do you understand? And then I'm not listening to.
What would you listen to?
I will listen to gospel anytime, any day, especially in the morning.
Yes.
And I don't care if it's slow or fast. Why? Because when it's slow, it's ministering to my spirit. That's the way I feel.
Yes.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. I collect it from you.
I like some Afro beats.
Like, you know,
really?
Yes.
In the morning.
If you have in the morning like this, do you know how many times you can go on just a little thing while you are like it has to hit. It has to hit and it has to hit hard so that I can keep myself up.
Now, don't worry, guys. I'm going to share my list of Afrobeat tracks with you. They're not just the ordinary kind. They're house music, Afrobeat.
Looking forward to that.
Love it. Trust me.
It's still Wake Up Nigeria, and it's time for the news. We start with NSA's one-year memorial. A group in Adamawa State has called on the government to be sensitive to the plight of citizens. Northeast coordinator of Take It Back movement accused politicians of frustrating the youths of the country, who are the future leaders. He also recalled how protesters were arrested in Adamawa State during last year's NSA's protest.
We organized a well-coordinated protest. Hundreds of thousands of youths across the nation participated for many days without violence or confusion of any kind and sort. But political leaders who call themselves elders went mentally bankrupt as how to profile a solution to one of their most debilitating challenges. The only reasonable idea available to them was to implore talks across borders, to attack procession of decent conduct, and to kill any person at sight. Such is the kind of evil generation of Nigeria that they are breeding.
In Plateau State, security operatives disrupted the gathering of some youths at the Jos Museum. Although few in number, the youths were seen carrying banners with different inscriptions. Security operatives who stormed the venue said the gathering was illegal and asked the organizers to leave, as such activity has been banned by the state's government. For those in Edo State, they converged on the King's Square in Benin City, where they lamented that nothing has changed in the past 1 year. Though there were moves by security operatives to abort the protest, the activists were adamant.
When I closed for shop, I heard that there was protesting close to my shop. So I stopped a vehicle that would take me home. That's when I heard they shot me on my leg.
We came out on that protest, and after 2, the Nigerian army ran into us and they started shooting sporadically. So that was where I get a stray bullet from one of the Nigerian army.
1 year later, all the promises that was made to the NSAS protesters have not been fulfilled. The NSAS victims and the SARS police brutality victims are yet to be compensated.
A report of the inquiry, the panel, till now, they have not actually implemented it, and it's not fair. Okay, the abusers, they have not done anything to punish them, at least to stand up.
And that's the news this morning.
And good morning to you, Nigeria. And these are the headlines you are waking up to this morning here on Wake Up Nigeria. We start with the headlines from News Direct this morning. And the first one that hits you, as you'll find as a trend on all other papers, NSAS anniversary protesters dare police in Lagos, Abuja, and others as FG malls compulsory psychiatric tests for security agents. And also, JAMA rallies support for Nigeria's IMO Category C reinstatement, and National Assembly leaders guarantees efficiency of legislature, says Senate President. At the very top of News Direct this morning, court jails 3 oil thieves in Port Harcourt, Choir Pitch. Governments to sponsor owners of 3 best ideas to South Africa. And Oshu Food Support Scheme, we've reached 201,000 households, say the government. We move on now to our next daily, and that is the Daily Trust. And this morning at the top of the Daily Trust newspaper, you find once again that theme, hashtag EndSARS 1 year after, no evidence of Lekki massacre. CNN Amnesty should tender apology, say the federal government. And a rights group failed to respond to Daily Trust's evidence request. PDP kick says police dispersed demonstrators in Abuja and Lagos. At the top there, after dilly-dallying, notorious bandits released 30 Yari school abductees. And to the side of the photo story showing protesters from yesterday's event, declare bandits as terrorists, say El Rufai as he tells Buhari. And Nigeria, Turkey signed 8 pacts on energy, defense, mining, and others. And Ochidoma, Nasara, Monarch, condone autumn. And finally, inside of the Daily Trust, pressure mounts on Buni to sanction Shekarau, Amosu, Aragbeshola, and others. Now, let's move to our next daily, and that is the Punch newspaper this morning with the headline, Lagos pays 420 million naira, NBA faults Akwa Ibom, Ogun, Oyo, Benue for shunning payments, and will submit reports to NEC, Abuja, to pay victims, say Oyo. Police disrupts rallies, disperses protesters. Journalists arrested, and insurance firms put claims at 20 billion naira, probes delay payments. Once again, photo stories here show events from yesterday with protesters across Lagos. At the bottom of the Punch newspaper this morning, bandits allegedly kidnap over 30 travelers, steal cows in Niger, and how Baba Ijesha defied me with key. Labeled himself boyfriend, says a minor. That on page 4 and 5. And finally, Islamic title, Southwest Imams tackle Olu, petitions DSS reports to Oyetola. That on page 24. Now, that's as much as we can take. You can grab any of these and read and maybe share with us. Use the hashtag WakeUpNigeria on TVC. Now, let's do a fact-finding, and we'll be back after that. And welcome here inside of the kitchen. It's time for What's Up and About, guys. Ladies looking beautiful, and of course, very handsome Mr. Mike Mesikena. Guys, so interesting.
This guy.
I have to wash you guys now.
What's with this guy?
You have to, make people feel good before you hit them with the information.
Emotional intelligence, that's your own definition.
Manipulation. That's
Anyhow, so interesting topic I was talking about with my friends, all 2 of them, yesterday. And we're talking about this instance of the Ajetunmobis. I don't know if you guys have heard about them. They have a lending firm, an image lending firm is what they called it.
Micro,
yeah. And they've had this on for about 6 years or more. However, they've absconded with customers 22 billion naira. And why this is coming to the fore is because there's been a picture that's been paraded about with them and the preacher of a very big Nigerian church. And people have started asking questions regarding the origin of people's source, or rather the source of people's monies when it comes to tithing. Yeah, it's a word I find very difficult to pronounce. Tithing. And asking whether preachers or pastors or churches should be concerned about the origin of such monies. And it's a big question mark, because often when people make these big donations, you find that there's certain associations or relationships that they have or form with the church, and they're revered or thanked or congratulated somehow. So that question is there. How much responsibility should churches have when it comes to the monies that they are accepting into their accounts? I don't know. Anybody got any opinion on this?
It's SU.
Winfrey, what do you think?
No, don't start with me.
Okay,
I like to pass on up.
Who's going to take on this one?
Good to you.
So
Mike is very heavy on this topic.
I feel like, yes, they should have some level of responsibility. As for a lot of people here, religion for a lot of people in these climes, religion is like a beacon. Yeah, it's a guiding light. You understand? And without taking the Jews and all of that, I think when it comes to what they say, they do their best. But there's as much as you can. Would you go to every single person and say, okay, where did you get this 1,000? Put it in the office, and all of that. There's as much as you can do. There's as much as you can do. You see, but I would also say they do have some responsibility, because in 2 instances. There's an instance before this one of NBA Forex, even before this one.
Yeah, exactly.
2 instances before this one. Some of these people even hoodwink members of the church also. So you're not even, it's not like you're
actually
you understand?
pool.
Yeah.
The pool, in fact, yes, because
for getting customers.
if you remember
Not this one.
if you remember MMM, some churches even had banners.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Getting people into the pyramid and all of that, even inside the church. So for the fact that not only that this thing affects even members of your church, then there should be some sort of responsibility from leaders, from the clergy.
And then we want to go next.
No. I would even like to ask, okay, so let's break it down in terms of the responsibility. What should the pastor do?
Okay, so for instance, I've also heard where listen to some messages where where you see pastors talk to people and tell them about Ponzi schemes. That's the first thing. Educate people. People are very desperate. So we've heard pastors who come up and educate people and say, look, when somebody tells you bring somebody, it's a Ponzi scheme. You understand? So you educate them and tell them, look, there are some kind of things you should not want to invest in. Some have been doing it. I've heard some do it, and that is commendable. That's where you start from, educating people. Education really takes off a lot when it comes to these kind of things. When you educate people, and then of course, from all religions mostly, their holy books, or they talk about doing unto your neighbor as you have them do unto you. So as much as you're telling people, educating them, and then also people who get into this thing for to try to get money and all of that, they should be admonished as much as possible.
Well, you see, funny that you should mention that, because I was going to go on this. First off, if you are talking about from the standpoint of the Bible, where Jesus Christ went into the temple and he overturned the tables of the money changers and he drove away. Yes, thank you very much. And he declared, you have turned the house of my father into a den of thieves. I believe that places of worship should have no business with business. You should have no business with people who want to turn your space into some kind of commerce environment. So that should have no place in the church, and they should not be recognized, because see where it gets you when you recognize people who are of certain status, or maybe because they brought so and so amount of money. I thank this brother because he has done well for the church. And this is where it gets you. You begin to sully your...
Okay, so now I would like to comment on this situation.
Yes, okay. Choir mistress.
Thank you. Anyways, first of all, I'd like to start by saying, see, the church is like, when I say hospital, right? To be honest, the doors are open. Anyone can come in, right? So the pastors do not monitor people coming in and going out. First of all, the responsibility of finding out where people are getting their money from before they pay their tithes, I don't think that can necessarily be covered. Because today someone is here in this church. I mean, once upon a time I was in Abuja, then I moved to Lagos. People are going and coming. Are you going to be tracing everybody? Then again, I understand what you're talking about. Fine, the pastor shouldn't probably directly push for business, right? And I honestly know there are certain churches that go the extra mile to help their members with business ideas. Do you understand? They even have conferences and bring in this expert to talk to them about how to invest their money. But the truth is that we all know there are a whole lot of churches out there, right? And then also that picture now circulating, I mean, if like I go to a church and I'm like, oh, okay, I want to take a picture of my pastor, should the pastors now say no? Of course, they know to them it might be indirect. It might be indirect, like endorsement. Do you understand? But the guy's literally just taking an innocent photo. So you say, okay, fine, because they were seen in a photograph with him, meaning he endorsed it. I don't necessarily think so. And also because I know Pastor Adeyemi particularly, I know he does a whole lot of business. I listen to his messages a lot, so I know he does a lot of business seminars and all of that.
So that could have been just one of those occasions.
That could have literally been one of those occasions.
Not exactly endorsing them.
Yeah.
See, I knew you had something to say. See, there you go. She had plenty to say, didn't she? But hey, it's still...
It is quite an issue. Like I said, one way which I've heard, which would really is when it comes to education and letting them know that, look, like you said, there's some keywords here. It's very easy to spot these schemes. But I don't know, 22 billion is really something.
I would like to say something on that note, and this might get me into trouble again. But worshippers are the most gullible.
They are
Very true. Especially when the people approaching you are from the church. And I know particular pastors, my pastor will tell you, beware of people in the church, particularly because they know that you're open.
Your trust is this.
This is what I'd like to wrap up with quickly because I know we need to go. Everyone,
I'm not interested.
No, I'm not fire breathing on this one. We all have a responsibility.
Yeah,
we all have our role, or we have different roles that we all need to play in this regard. If you're going to invest in anything, like I always say, do your due diligence. And that's it on What's Up and About for now. Hit us if you have any other thing that you'd like to contribute on our social media platforms at TVC Connect. For now, we gotta go. Take a break. We'll be right back. All right, guys, welcome back. You're still on to Wake Up Nigerian. Yes, it's the kitchen segment. And with me this morning is Chef C. Good morning. How are you doing?
Good.
Making your debut on the show, right?
Yeah.
Pretty excited?
Quite excited.
All right, great. And this morning, Chef C will be making unripe plantains with sea sauce. Yeah. Yes, I know some of you asking, what's sea sauce? He's going to tell us right about now. So tell us, sea sauce, what's that about?
Yeah,
what are the ingredients for our sea sauce?
Okay, we have a crab here, crabs and periwinkles and shrimps.
Okay.
So these three combination makes it sea because all of them comes from the water.
Yes.
So then we have some veggies by tomato and
pepper.
So these are all the things we have here in Nigeria. So that's why I titled it sea sauce.
Okay. It feels like it was inspired by some, foreign meal, was it?
Yeah, I kind of tried to infuse it to like foreign, but this is typical Nigerian specialties.
Okay. All right. And then for our unripe plantains, what are we doing with it?
Yeah, we're going to boil it like this.
Okay. So it's like having plantain and sauce.
Yeah.
Okay. But in this case, we are having sea sauce. That we are having seafoods. And our seafoods this morning that we'll be making use of, we have our shrimps, we have our crab, and we have our periwinkles. Crabs are one of those things that I've find it's quite an interesting seafood, especially if you don't know how to cook it. A lot of people really don't know how to cook crab. I don't know how to cook crab, to be honest, apart from the fact that it's very stressful eating. I feel like it's one of the most difficult to eat seafood. Yes, I know someone watching would agree with me. But hey, let's begin. What's the process for our sea sauce?
Oh, okay. Like you said, the crab is always very difficult. So, the prep
preparation takes more time, yes.
And there are many things you need to pick out there. So simply after pre-prep, like picking those things, you boil it.
What are the things you pick out of it?
They are like the scales.
Okay.
The most important is always a scale behind it.
Okay.
Pick that one out.
Okay.
So you boil it, spice it up with the seasoning cube and the rest of it.
Okay. And so is this ready?
Very ready now.
Okay, it's been cooked already.
Not cooked already.
Okay.
It should be cooked now.
It will be cooked now. And how long is that going to take?
5 minutes.
In 5 minutes, okay. Great. Yeah. And when our crab is ready, what's next?
Yeah, we add then the periwinkle.
Okay.
That's all.
Okay. And then at what point does our tomatoes, pepper come in?
Yeah, after the crab, after the shrimps and the periwinkle is in. So that's when the spices
go in. All right, so let's get cooking. We have our pot ready. If you're just joining us this morning, we have Chef C, and this morning he's making unripe plantains with sea sauce. Pretty excited about this recipe. It's also healthy for those who are on a fit farm journey. For now, we have to head over to the couch with art display with Mike.
Okay, it's so, our artist today is just so interesting. I've already had a wonderful time chatting with him already. His name is Naira Osiobe. Now, he uses color tip felt pen to create alluring illustrations. Of course, he's here with me. He's a hyper realistic artist, and also you do pointillism, as you call it. But he doesn't like me he doesn't like me saying Emperor Nero. His namesake, yeah? I don't know why he doesn't like that, but it's great to have you there. You are welcome.
Thank you.
Quite an interesting story you have there. You are an artist and an artist.
Yeah, so
at the same
word
time.
artist, so I am the art.
You know, you draw and also at the same time you sing. Have you ever thought of combining both of them at any point in time? Like doing both of them at the same time?
Yeah, of course it goes together because at the end of the day, as an artist, I also have to create my own like album covers, like my song covers. So I do
something on stage now. While you're singing and all of that, what style of music do you do?
Okay, I would say world music.
Okay, world music. Okay, so while you're singing, you are drawing at or painting at the same time. Have you ever tried something like that?
Yeah, well, if you give me the opportunity,
maybe someday.
Yeah,
we'll have you. We'll have you quite soon. No, it's good to have you. You are welcome.
Thank you.
We're talking about your origins as an artist, one who draws and all of that. And you were telling me about how your father, in some way, even though he didn't encourage you from the beginning, but what he did really made you, set you upon this path. Tell us that story.
Okay, pretty much, art started for me at a very young age.
Okay.
So I can remember way back in primary school, I was literally just drawing all of my books. School for me was just fun and drawing. So my dad wasn't having that. I was always getting a swipe at in the evening. And then we check your books. Are you drawing your books? So, but that didn't solve the problem because I think over time he just understood that this one an artist. So he gave me like a big jotter. I was like, okay, so you see this one, drawing this one, and this one is for school.
How old were you about this point? Can you remember?
Probably as around maybe 5 years.
Oh,
wow. Yeah, so I think that helped to create the balance thing because my dad is an engineer, so I thought he's an electrical engineer, so he's a technical drawings, and so I feel he was able to pretty much understand us at that time. So that helped me a lot. So I was pretty much excited. So when it was time to draw, I just had my special book.
The special book.
Yeah, and I was able to do that. So I didn't even remember how I was passing in school because for me to just
it was just
draw and
wonderful.
Play. Yeah.
Nice. And then it set you along this path. So at what point did it become a profession for you? When did you start making money from it?
Okay, I would say in 2016 thereabouts.
Okay.
When I graduated from the university. So literally how it is, I actually schooled in North American University in Benin Republic.
What did you study?
I studied international relations.
Okay, yeah, I thought you might do something like fine arts or something.
No,
yeah.
Pretty much art was just like a hobby I carried along.
By the side. Okay.
Yeah, so pretty much after that, I came back to Nigeria. So there was no like job coming, so I had to fall back to talents and then develop from there. And then that's how I started. So
that's how it started. Wonderful. Yeah. Now you have. Let's start with this one. I really like this one. This is something I'd want to put, on my wall. This. What style of art is this?
Okay, this is called pointillism.
Pointillism.
Yes.
Let's start with the music one there because I think that one resonates with you much more, right?
Okay.
What's the title of that artwork?
Musicology.
Ecology.
Musicology.
Musicology. Wonderful. What is it? What's the story behind it?
Pretty much. Music is also art. So. It's a connection of sounds made from instruments. Yeah, so you can see right there. So I try to depict like we have a violin, and then we have a saxophone. So I try to inculcate like the human nature, making one a male, making one a female. So it's the marriage between two instruments that actually creates the beauty of the music. So that's why it's called musicology. So if you look from here, you can see a lady sort of dancing with the guy who has in a saxophone head. So there is this resonance, they're dancing together to create the music.
Wonderful.
Yes, so we have at least 4,000 points. Yeah.
That you used to create this, yeah? My co-host would always say that music is a necessity, in life. Do you agree with that? Do you think music is a necessity? Is it something that everybody needs to, have a little bit of?
Of course, pretty much, even we're making music without we know it. So, like you're coming in the bus, there's this, you hear the conductor, Joel Egba, all those things is music. Everything, the sound, the buzz, the energy, it's music. So for me, the way I think about it is entertaining.
I like the way you think, yeah? All right, so this is definitely a South African, costume and all of that. What's this work?
So I usually work in series. Right? Okay. To create a consistent body of work that tell a story about a particular theme. So this is lifted from my series called African Damsels. So I try to tell the story.
African Damsels.
Yeah.
I like this guy. Your vocabulary is a damsel.
So I try to tell the story about how we Africans will portray our women with the use of bright colors. So this is actually called Zulu princess. So, you know, there's a tribe in South Africa, they are called Zulu. So the particular set of women who are married often wear these beaded caps to signify marriage, wealth, and so we need to tell these stories through art just to preserve the culture, so we don't have maybe foreigners rewriting it and telling the story in some other way.
Definitely. We'll send you to the UK to bring back our paintings there. You'll be the emissary. Now, this is a realistic painting. We have a... What bird is this?
It's called the flinch. The
flinch?
Yeah.
Wow.
So, pretty much for that, that's actually much more deeper than it looks. So the essence of that, you know, way back before we had colonial masters coming with the religion and all of that, Africans, we had our own like tradition, the way we relate psychologically, spiritually, morally, and all of that. So practically, you know, this art is called Messengers, the Messengers. So it's a series that entails how Africans literally like send message across to one another. So the birds were literally one of the medium to send message when there were no telephones, there were no later WhatsApp and all of that. So even spiritually, so the birds were actually some sort of like messengers.
The way messengers, not confirm.
Yeah, so they actually used to send messages, and so that's pretty much what I was depicting here using a fringe. And then there's a little bit of objects around it. You can see. So they're actually like the African mask, right?
Okay.
You know, you know, from way back, the mask is literally like some form of our culture where we as artists and artists from way back who made these sculptures and everything. So, you know, they say the mask, whoever wears the mask is possessed by the spirit of the ancestors and all of that. Yeah, so according to the festival. So pretty much that's what I'm trying to depict here. So the birds are actually affected by the, or spirited by the spirit of the ancestors, you know, to send their messages spiritually. You know. So that's what that art's all about.
Guy, I like what you do, man. We'll send you to the UK. That one is confirmed, yeah. But
Thank
you know, down the line, looking forward, where do you expect this to get to? Next 5, 10 years.
That's a very
to take this?
That's a very good question, but
that's apart from UK, by the way. That one is confirmed.
That's a very good question. By the way, I should have an exhibition in the UK, I think, next year. Yeah.
This guy. When is it? When is it? Tell us about it.
It's not confirmed yet. I think the COVID-19 is pretty much being like a hindrance so far. But when it gets dates, we should know that. So, like you say, your question. Pretty much for me, you know, like they say, you plan and then nature plans is well. So, I'm an artist full time, musician full time as an artist. So I do this as also like a side hustle for me. So pretty much. More exhibitions, more sales, more recognition for my country, for myself, for my family.
Great one. Great one, Naira. Great one, Naira. You are rewriting the history of that name.
Yeah.
The emperor will look back and say, yeah.
No, I'm not the emperor.
Nice one, Naira. Wishing you the best. And,
Thank you.
We'll see you at the top. Well done.
All right. Thank you.
That was it. I hope you're able to pick up one or two things and enjoy that one. We'll just take this time out now. There's quite a bit more to come.
Welcome back. You're still on to Wake Up Nigerian. Yes, it's our kitchen segment. And with me, doing justice to breakfast, is Chef C. Good morning. How are you doing today?
I'm good.
All right. So, yes, breakfast has started. As you can see, we are making unripe plantains with sea sauce. Sea sauce. It actually sounds like sea salt, like saying sea salt, but it's actually sea sauce. Yes, so we're actually making a sauce with seafoods, basically. Let's talk about the ingredients, Chef C. Over to you.
So basically, we have pepper, the green pepper, the yellow pepper.
Okay.
Normally, you have your choice of bell pepper to eat, and you have scent leaf, garlic, optional. If you want to use garlic, it's optional as well. So you have a red bell pepper powder, crayfish.
Okay.
These are still seafood as well. Seasoning cube of your choice.
Yeah.
Then that's all.
Yes.
There's unshelled periwinkle.
And unshelled periwinkle. Yes, and trust me, unshelled periwinkles are pretty expensive. It's a different kind of periwinkle if you're going to the market to buy it, because it's quite, you know, the price is different from the shelled one. I see that our crabs are cooking already. You want to tell us what went in there?
Okay, we have a seasoning cube, pepper, I usually use two pepper, the red and the yellow one. They are very healthy.
Yes.
So then my salt, and that's all.
No seasonings?
Seasoning cube.
Oh, and seasoning cubes
Yes,
as well. Okay.
yeah.
So we're just going to wait for that to cook for 5 minutes.
Yes, 5 minutes.
And then when that is ready, we are going to bring it out and then start the process for our sea sauce. Now, let's talk about the process for our sea sauce. How are we making that?
Okay. First, you prepped your
Crab,
the crab, which is already done. Then after like 2 or 3 minutes, you add your shrimps.
Okay.
Thereabout, you add your periwinkle.
Okay.
Because the stock is already good.
Yeah.
So after then you bring it down. Then you now eat the red oil and put a little bit of oil, granite oil inside.
Oh, look at that. That looks good. Coming out really nicely. So there's something about the yellow pepper. There's a certain kind of flavor that it gives to your meal. It's that distinct flavor, like you cannot even explain it. And for unripe plantain, it's going to be that thing to design. Yes. If you know what I mean. Yeah. It's coming out really nicely. Looks good already.
Okay.
So I'm just going to cover this up and going to wait for it to cook a bit. And yes, I see that in the other pot we already have our unripe plantain cooking.
Yeah,
and let's not also forget that unripe plantains are really healthy. They're high in antioxidants. They are, good as weight management. Like if you're watching your weight, this is a better option for you. And then it's also good for the heart. Yes, it's got amazing health benefits, guys. You cannot even underestimate. And then let's not even talk about our seafood. We already know that when it comes to weight watching, they are a better option. It's better to go for seafoods because they help to watch your weight. They help to manage your weight. Yes, and yeah, we see that breakfast is coming up really nicely. We're just going to wait for our unripe plantains to cook and then for our crabs to come up, and then we start to work on our sea sauce. Yes, and for what do you call it? Is it shombo or? Shombo,
yeah, shombo.
Or red chili peppers.
Yeah, red chili pepper.
Yeah, or shombo. Yeah, because
locally.
Are we blending this, or we're just also going to chop everything?
No, we're going to chop everything.
Okay, and
yeah.
Okay, including the tomatoes as well.
Everything's going to be chopped.
Yeah. So why are we having vegetable oil and palm oil in the sea sauce? Why can't we just have one of both?
No, because I'm trying to impute English kind of well. So man can hit it.
Okay.
And black man,
anyone can eat it.
Go on it once this comes in.
All right, great stuff happening here in the kitchen. Pretty excited about breakfast. Right now we have to head over to the couch with Mazino.
Thank you very much, Looking forward to being served some of that deliciousness going on there. Now, our next conversation this morning is centered on BPI, that's a brachial plexus injury, an umbrella term for a variety of conditions affecting the nerve network that originates from the neck and provides movement and sensation in the arms and hands. Now, right here on the couch with us today to do this interesting conversation with me is Ngozi Ekong. She is a mom of 2 and the founder of Conquering BPI, an online and offline support group for mothers who have kids with BPI. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Good to have you here. Now, let's talk about BPI, brachial plexus injury. What kind of injury exactly is it?
Brachial plexus injury is actually the injury to the brachial plexus around the neck. Okay. So this is called the brachial plexus. Now, so depending on the severity, there are different types of severity. There's the neuroplexia, the stretch, which is a common one at birth. Right, there's an avulsion, there's a rupture, and then there's scar tissue. So any trauma to the neck region is called a brachial plexus injury.
Okay, and how does it manifest? What does it look like, this injury?
So depending on the type, it's usually occurs at birth when the shoulder of the baby is stuck at the mom's pelvic. Oh. And usually most times the child is at risk, and so the doctors sometimes have to pull the baby out, right, from the vaginal, and then that's how the injury comes.
Would that be if the baby is inversed, or does it often occur so?
Not necessarily when the baby is breached, right? It might be just a baby who's big, or who's baby whose shoulders just get stuck. And it's not just limited to vaginal delivery. It could also happen in C-section delivery.
Wow.
Yes.
Is it delicate at that stage?
Very.
Is it reparable? Can it be fixed? Is there a cure for it?
Yeah, so depending on the type of brachial plexus injury, if it's the stretch, right, you just need physical therapy for the child up until, just ensure that the muscles are moving. And then if it's the avulsion and the rupture, then you require surgery. Unfortunately, we don't have like so many specialists in Nigeria.
Okay.
And most people have to travel out of the country if they can afford it, to get the surgery done.
We're going to come back to that, but let's talk about the types now. You talked about stretch, avulsion, and
There's rupture and there's neuroma.
Neuroma.
So there's neuroplexia, which is, So there's neuroplexia, which is a stretched muscle when the nerves around the neck region is stretched. There you just need physical therapy for the child and they recover really quickly.
Okay.
Right? And then we have the neuroma, which is where they have the scar tissues around the nerve, the stretched nerve. Most cases you just need surgery to scrape out the scar tissue around the nerve for recovery. And then we have the rupture, and that's where the nerves attached to the spine is cut into two. You need surgery to infuse those nerves back together. And then we have the avulsion, which is the most severe case when the nerve actually is detached from the spinal cord. Now, that is really, really very irreversible.
Okay. So I noticed that you have a network, you have a community of mothers who who are involved in this kind of with this kind of injury, or people who are living with this injury. What does that network do exactly?
So amazingly, we started this network in 2019. With moms who did not have understanding or awareness of brachial plexus injury, and that's why I started, because I realized that there was a gap, in the in Nigeria, basically. And it's not just only Nigeria, it's also out of Nigeria, right? And so what we decided to do is get a group of moms who have kids with BPI, who also don't have access, to funds to get their kids physical therapy. And so what we do is we collaborate with physical therapists outside of Nigeria, in the US and Turkey, and who offer pro bono services for the kids, online services, right? And then teach them DIY methods and therapies on their children, because it's a one-on-one thing. You need to be consistent to ensure recovery or fast recovery for that child. Yes, that's what we do.
Right, so two questions. Now, we're focused on kids here. One question leads into the other. Now, is this limited to just kids, this network? And regarding a cure, is it possible to even get cure or maybe perhaps help when you're older? Maybe say adult stage.
Yeah, so I mean, I didn't mention that there's also two types of BPI. So there's obstetric BPI and there's traumatic BPI.
What's the difference?
So obstetric is at birth, and traumatic is when you're an adult, and then there's a trauma to that neck.
Yeah.
So for OBPI, if it's early intervention, when you find out that your child has this at birth, the key thing for most moms is to ensure that they see a medical professional who is usually a physical therapist, a pediatric physical therapist. So the early you start, depending on the severity, it would determine, right, how the recovery process of that child. Usually the first 3 months are the window period. Now, if that child has that BPI and doesn't lift his or her arm, within the first 3 months of birth, then you may need to require surgical intervention.
So that's how it manifests. They are unable to lift their arm.
Yes,
okay.
at birth.
And then for traumatic BPI, is there any cure?
Usually, it's surgery, and most times, most people don't recover the full range of motion, even after physical therapy. And then again, it depends on which nerves were, involved, if it's the C4 or the C5 or the C6 or the T1. The severity of the nerve injury determines the recovery process. And the amazing thing is that the nerve grows by 1 millimeter per month.
Per month?
So it's a slow,
very slow, obviously.
process.
Wow.
Slow. It's a waiting game, basically.
Okay.
For the nerves to recover.
So even if they're adults, they could still get help from this network, which you help put together?
Yeah, so we're focusing on basically babies for now, because we realize that the earlier they start, the better for them as they grow. So we're looking at babies and toddlers for now, because it's focused on OBPI, obstetric BPI, brachial plexus injury.
Because that's very interesting, and it's good to have you here. We've been also displaying her handle on our TV screen, so if you have any questions or if you need her help or you want to be a part of this community, make sure that you use that handle, and perhaps maybe she'll be she'll reach out to you as well. Thank you very much, Ngozi, for coming in. Thank you very much for explaining these to us.
I also wanted to say, this month is also BPI Awareness Month.
Oh, yes.
Yes, and then 23rd of October, which is Saturday, we're doing 3 things, right? We have a walk from Luf to Sarkin Hausa of Idiaraba, and we're going to do 3 things there. So one is educate the traditional bone setters on how to manage, because we realize that not everybody can afford to see a physical therapist, right? So we're going to, the people who they meet, who are the traditional bone setters, we're going to educate them on how to assess children with BPI and also treat children with BPI.
Nice.
The second one is we're going to also look at the midwives, the traditional midwives, how to manage shoulder dystocia. Shoulder dystocia, when the shoulders get stuck at the pelvic. What maneuvers, what different maneuvers you're going to do to get the baby out without causing injury.
That's this Saturday, yes.
This Saturday.
All right.
And thirdly, we're going to be assessing children and toddlers with BPI.
Your work is so noble. Thank you very much. And we love the fact that you have actually extended this to people no matter your class. That's very interesting. Thank you very much, Ngozi. And we'll try and be there ourselves. You try and be there too. Now, that's all we have here. Do stay tuned because we've got another hour coming your way with very, very interesting content here on Wake Up Nigeria. And of course, you're welcome to the second hour here of the most talked about and the most entertaining family breakfast show here, if I do say so myself, Wake Up Nigeria.
Yes, a warm welcome to the second half. The show is Wake Up Nigeria. So much has happened since the show kicked off at 7. But hey, we still have so much to come in the next less than 45 minutes.
Yes, and part of that so much is inside the kitchen right now. There's so much of Winfrey this morning and so much food to go out. Winfrey, how's it going in there, girl?
It's going great. I mean, this seafood sauce is definitely off the hook. You need to try it out, so keep on watching.
Okay, grand. Well, we can smell it from here already. It smells delicious. And even if I don't have a portion of it, I think I'm satisfied already.
We're not sharing.
Well done to Chef C. And yes, to get the show crack-a-lacking this morning, my name is Emem Koche.
Yes, let's get that cracking on the lacking. My name is Mazino. Remember, you can stream the show live if you have to be on the move. It's at tvcentertainment.tv. And of course, you can do the same on Facebook as well. But do remember to follow us on TikTok and Instagram. We are at TVC Connect on all social media platforms.
Yes, and do not forget that you can download our app, which is also available on the iOS or the Android. And just one click and you're good to go.
Yes, sir. Now, we still have book chat coming your way today for the next 45 minutes. And our book in focus is titled Woman Like the Sea. A gentle reminder, your beauty is magic. It's a collection of praise for women. The author, Chi Collins, will be here to talk about this awesome piece with us.
Alrighty, yeah.
Welcome back, people.
So welcome back. Yes, I caught up on something recently where, based on international report and based on international statistics, actually, we have about over 60% of people who are doing more of online shopping. And of course, we're in the Ember season as we're approaching the Christmas season. You know, there's going to be a lot of shopping going on.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of online shopping.
Oh, yeah, because what you get is not often what you want.
I want to see.
We had an experience yesterday.
Yes, I want to see what I'm buying every single time. And yes, Winfrey actually experienced one yesterday.
Oh,
she did some online shopping, and it's been a total chaos.
For one size too small?
Too small?
Too big.
Too big. Oh, okay. You know, they say TV adds a couple of pounds. Maybe they see you on TV and they're like, no, she's a big girl.
No, I even think that this situation was kind of intentional because I had a conversation and we spoke about the size and all of that. But then again, it just seemed like the person just bundled up what was left and just
sent it.
And all of that. But
they wanted to give you extra, especially with the whole Ember Months thing. I think it takes away from the tradition when people are doing online shopping. I don't know if you agree with me, because people often have that tradition where the whole family goes to the market or the stores to go buy. So, Daddy, I want that. There's that feeling that goes with it, but it's not going to be. It's dwindling. It's dying.
It is, especially after COVID and all of that. So people would definitely shop more. I've had mostly good experiences. I shop online a lot. And I found out, in fact, the recent vendor, in fact, I've even delayed a suit I got, I was supposed to return. So I've had vendors who, okay, hey, it's too small, return it, I'll get another one.
It's all about customer care now.
So I've had mostly good experiences, and depends on where you shop. And as much as possible, when you are shopping, try to listen, get reviews or feedback.
True.
So go to a place where you have reviews. You listen to what people say, what they say about this particular vendor.
Forget some of these vendors are mean. They will organize the reviews for you.
Yeah, exactly.
They literally get their family members to comment.
Yes, you know. But you see, when you shop through the third-party, agents, most of them, at times there's some sort of vetting, and you can see some history. So it's kind of an art, a skill. Maybe one can learn how to shop online. But then it's going to happen more. I mean, when we see in developed countries, drones are even delivering stuff from food. We don't even have to see food to order it. So
but
it's
then
a trend.
are we as much as we're advancing in technology, especially in different climes, is Nigeria ready for that?
We'll get there. We have no choice.
I know we will. But I mean, especially with the pandemic. And yes, like you said earlier on, with the pandemic, I even think that the malls and shopping centers should be, you know, we need to. In terms of people, there has to be that.
They're experiencing that dwindle in people who go to the stores now. So I think
stop overcrowding those spaces.
Now what they're investing in is logistics. So you can actually shop online and they deliver to you. I mean, even some big hotels in Eko are doing laundry services, if you remember, during the pandemic. So that's happening already. But I'm not an online person. I'm hoping that Mike will give me some hookups and stuff like that. I like to see what I'm buying, touch it, wear it, try it on, and then yes, I'll switch money. But hey,
in
any case,
it's about time for the weather. So let's check out what that's like today. We'll be right back. It's still Wake Up Nigeria, and it's time for the news. We start with NSA's one-year memorial. A group in Adamawa State has called on the government to be sensitive to the plight of citizens. Northeast coordinator of Take It Back movement accused politicians of frustrating the youth of the country, who are the future leaders. He also recalled how protesters were arrested in Adamawa State during last year's NSAS protest.
We organized a well-coordinated protest. Hundreds of thousands of youth across the nation participated for many days without violence or confusion of any kind and sort. But political leaders who call themselves elders went mentally bankrupt as how to profile a solution to one of their most debilitating challenges. The only reasonable idea available to them was to implore talks across boards, to attack procession of decent conduct, and to kill any person at sight. Such is the kind of evil generation of Nigeria that they are breeding.
In Plateau State, security operatives disrupted the gathering of some youths at the Jos Museum. Although few in number, the youths were seen carrying banners with different inscriptions. Security operatives who stormed the venue said the gathering was illegal and asked the organizers to leave as such activity has been banned by the state government. For those in Edo State, they converged on the King's Square in Benin City, where they lamented that nothing has changed in the past 1 year. Though there were moves by security operatives to abort the protest, the activists were adamant.
When I closed for shop, I heard that there was protesting close to my shop. So I stopped a vehicle that would take me home. That's when I heard they shot me on my leg.
We came out on that protest, and after 2, the Nigerian army ran into us and they started shooting sporadically. So that was where I get a stray bullet from one of the Nigerian army.
1 year later, all the promises that was made to the NSAS protesters have not been fulfilled. The NSAS victims and the SARS police brutality victims are yet to be compensated.
A report of the inquiry, the panel, till now, they have not actually implemented it, and it's not fair. Okay, the abusers, they have not done anything to punish them, at least to sound as a deterrence.
Welcome back. You're still watching Wake Up Nigeria, and right now we have the book chat, and our book in focus is titled Woman Like Sea. It's a gentle reminder that your beauty is magic. Guess what? Okay, so it's my absolute pleasure to be having this interview right now. I mean, this book is a collection of praise for the woman. The author is Chi Collins, and of course, she's right here with me. Hello, dear. How are you doing?
Hi, how are you?
I'm very, very well. Very, very well. Okay, so I've had the privilege of going through this book, and I must say it's actually really, really great.
Thank you.
Right? I mean, it's not because, you know, but okay, before we get there, let's just talk about you for a bit. You, before you got to this point where you actually put this together, right? Of course, you represented Nigeria at the Miss Miss Universe pageant in 2015,
Yes.
right? And then represent Nigeria at the Miss World in 2016.
Yes.
So tell us about that, those experiences.
Well, it was, like I always tell everyone, representing Nigeria was one of the biggest honor of my life, you know. I think it is something that you never forget. So till this day, I mean, it's been over 5 years ago, and I still remember it till this day.
Yeah.
So it was one of the biggest honor for me.
Oh, great. Okay, so now tell me, how have you evolved, or how did that experience? You know, there's a whole lot of notions behind pageantry. Do you understand? A lot of people say, oh, say a lot of things about it. Let's not go into that. So how would you say that impacted in you becoming the woman that you are today?
I think that it added a little bit of spice to the woman that I am. I think that it increased my confidence, because then you get to see people that are from different walks of life, and you get to expose yourself to a bigger, wider audience. And so you kind of have no choice but to be a confident, bold person. And I think that's what it has made me become, this confident, bold woman that's not scared. I don't cower in the shadows anymore.
Nice.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, definitely. And then you happen to put all of that in here. I think what I love the most about the book is the fact, I see the trajectory, right, of the evolving woman. That's literally what I see. So would you say, is this from personal experiences?
Partly from personal experiences, yes, because there was a time in my life where I was at a very low period, and that was after the pageant. And then I guess I documented everything until I reached this peak where I had, I guess, evolved.
Yes.
And then there were also stories of other women that I've seen on a journey that's taking them from where they were to where they currently are now. And it was something that was very inspiring to me. And so I put that all there too.
Yeah, definitely. Because, I mean, one caught my eye, like a lot caught my eye, but this particular one for public consumption.
Yes.
Can you tell me about that one?
For public consumption is a woman that's completely beaten. So it talks about a woman that I think she has an alcohol addiction.
Yes.
Yes, and she was down in the gutter. She no longer had any dreams. But sadly, she didn't make it out of it. So she ended it with the addiction. And I think it was also warning about maybe having too much of a vice that you lean on too much, where you lose yourself in it. That could be drugs, that could be alcohol, that could be something that's damaging to you. And then you might not have the opportunity to come out of it. So that's what that poem was about.
Oh, awesome. And I mean, there's so much in here, like love song. I know before we came out, I was telling you about how some are, you know, not for a breakfast show. So if you want to get those parts, definitely you should check this book out. It's really, really nice. I think for me, it's true, right? When I picked up the book yesterday to go through it, I think what hit me the most is how much the book and its substance resonates with your personality. I mean, I follow you on Instagram. I've known you as a person for a while now. And I just love the fact that, I could pick up the book and I'm like, okay, this is definitely something that Chi will do. And I totally love that fact. So tell me, what has the journey for poetry been like for you? Where did it start? Where did you realize that, oh, okay, I think I have something here?
When I was 6 years old, believe it or not.
Wow, okay.
So the first poem I ever wrote was a remix of Three Blind Mice. I think everybody knows that nursery rhyme. And so I remixed it into some poem about a dog, 7 dogs that used to live next door. And then ever since then, I started to journal, and I kept a diary. I still have it even till today.
Oh, wow.
Diaries consecutively over the past couple years of my life. And I noticed that was when I really fell in love with writing, because I would express myself to my journals. And so that's where the poetry love came about.
Okay, that's nice. That's really nice. So now, first of all, I've been thinking of putting a book together. How long did this take?
Jeez.
How long did this take?
First of all, having the story is not the difficult part so much. I know you can experience writer's block, but that's not the hard part. It's not getting the story together. It's actually putting it into a book and then printing it. That's the hard part.
Okay.
So it took me a while to get the entire collection together. A couple of years, I will not lie. From the beginning to the end, I've written the poems over a period of maybe 6 years. And then to get the book in the form and everything, it took me the whole of last year. Yes.
Are you serious? The arrangements and all of that kind of stuff. I mean, are these poems that you write, I mean, per time, based on how you feel? Or was it like okay, you know what, I want to do this project, and then I'm going to do all this. So maybe you had to arrange the topics first and then go into it, or was it just stuff that you had written over time and then you just say, so you were like, oh, okay, I think this will work as a book?
So it was stuff that I've written over time, and then when I discovered that it was going to be that title, I was going to make it that title and have that theme, all of them fit into different themes in the book. So they were at different periods in my life, when I was happy, when I was sad, when I was in love, you know, and so I just compiled it according to the
read the love ones.
Yeah. Did you like them?
Yes, they were nice. Really, really nice. And then heartbreak at a point.
Yeah, heartbreak.
That happened.
Yeah, everybody must drop breakfast.
Everybody must, as in premium breakfast. Okay, so now I'm going to actually read this one, right?
Okay.
I'm going to read two of them, but I'll start with She's No Boring Woman, right? You are salt, soulful, sprinkling intense flavor into the blandest pot. I think I love that a lot, because I think even beyond just being a woman, I think everyone has that spice they bring to life. Now, it's finding it, right, as opposed to doing what everybody else is doing. So now, how does this interpret for you?
So that poem would be personality. Everybody is different in their own way, and the spice, the salt, is your essence, it's your personality. And so like I meet you now, you have the most amazing, intense eyes. That's like your little sprinkling of salt. And if you maximize that, it's like, wow, you know, she's this girl with these beautiful eyes.
Yeah.
So everybody has that thing that lingers about them. And I think that's what resonates with me. It's your personality.
Your personality,
yes.
very, very true. Now, the next one is you are strong amongst other things. Strength does not need to be arrogant or harsh. It can be in the gentle flicker of love-soaked eyelids or the soft whisper of a broken woman. Strength is never one thing, just like you. Okay. So now, I think this addresses the whole, I think for me, when I read it, what came to mind was the whole feminist movement, right? And how a lot of people are talking about how, okay, fine, a lot of people have misconstrued it. I mean, taken it, interpreted it in their own way. Some people are really harsh and passionate about it, and in a kind of way, they kind of err, right? But this now talks about how the strength of a woman is not something that is brash, right? It's something, I mean, you're the poet. Please, can you just elaborate more on that?
So basically, the strength of a woman does not have to be harsh. I feel like we don't explore our softness enough.
Okay.
I feel like if we hinge on that, the fact that we have that softness to play with, we could get a lot of things done. And I don't mean that women can be strong in the strong sense of the word. I mean that we can also complement it with our softness, which will balance everything out. And that's why it talks about, like, the strength of a woman does not have to constantly be, she's so strong, she can take anything, she can suffer. It means she can also be soft and just there, flowing, like the ocean. She doesn't have to constantly suffer to be proven as a strong woman.
Okay, great. So now, what is your mission with this? What do you desire that this project does?
I want women to read it and just envision themselves as their higher self. Like, I want women to read it and feel like, listen, if this thing with not having confidence is with me, I no longer want to be that person. I want to be this person that aspires to be a better, more beautiful, more bold, more confident woman. I want women to read it and just own their essence. That's what I want.
All right. Thank you so much. I mean, it's been amazing talking to you. Before we go, where can we get this?
You can get it directly from me on my Instagram page, chii.collins.
Oh, okay.
And then you can send me a DM, or there's a link in my bio that you can purchase it on.
Get it. Thank you so, so much. I mean, if I could go through this book, I'm sure we'll be here all day. But then again, we have other things to do. Thank you so much.
Thank
you. Amazing.
And joining us here this moment on the couch is Yoha Mokekbele. I hope I got that right. Better known by his stage name, Kross. And of course, you just saw him perform. Fantastic rapper. You must be, I mean, hey, that was fantastic. And just before you sat down, I asked you if you've always been based here in Nigeria. Have you always been based in Nigeria?
Yeah, I've always been here.
Okay. Because there's a certain swag with there's a certain culture with your style that I identify as mostly not Nigerian. But tell us about your rapping career, when it started and all of that.
Well, I started out music a very long time ago.
Okay.
Let's say about age 14.
Oh.
I've been writing my own songs. And then I picked up rap, let's say, around 15.
Okay.
Yeah, and I've been writing and rapping since then.
Oh, okay. So you write your own stuff?
Of course.
Have you ever written for anybody?
Well, not professionally, maybe just a couple of my friends who are rappers too.
Okay.
So I just chip in 1 or 2 lines.
How big is this friends network and how deep does it go? Does it go into the, like, you know, deep into the Nigerian rap culture or, you know, network and stuff like that?
Well, all my friends are deep into the rap culture. So whatever I'm giving to them definitely is deep rap culture.
I can see that.
Yeah.
Now, what's your take on the Nigerian rap culture? First off, rap was something that was very big, let's say in Nigeria a couple of years ago, a decade ago, for instance. It's coming back now with youngins like you bringing it back. There was almost the altered takeover, which kind of like last year took a decline because of the pandemic. But rap culture is something that's driven by, what exactly would you say it's driven by in Nigeria?
Well, in Nigeria, we almost misplaced the rap culture for a while because we had a lot of rappers who were not glamorous enough and we're sticking to the mainstream kind of rap. I would describe that as the 90s kind of rap. So when
you mentioned a couple of names.
I'm not going to name them. So I'm going to stay safe.
Wow, man. But go on.
Yeah, so I'll call that the 90s kind of rap, which was like old school. So it was exchanged for Afro. It wasn't really alt, it was Afro music that actually taken over.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Afro music came in with this glamour and this swag, which was actually adopted from rappers. But the rappers themselves were keeping it like the old school type of thing, you know, rocking old school type of clothes.
See, I'm an OG, first off. You're a youngin', so we're going to have a debate here, right now. I love your rap. I love the fact that you have so much poetry inside of your rap. But I also think that the old guys, I'm talking about the Mode 9s, the Two Shots, and the rest of them, I think that they also had a sense of rap that was, well, maybe to my time, to my climb, was really deep, and I really appreciate it. And I wish that I could see more of it.
Of course, that's the foundation of rap. That is rap. But the thing is, with everything in life, you have to switch it up. You have to grow. You have to develop it. So at some point, rap needed to develop, but we didn't have enough people to develop it.
Okay.
So it was just those old guys giving us the old dish of rap. And then they faded away, giving way for these Afro guys who came with the new school thing, rocking ice, rocking jewelry and stuff. That's not really Afro. But it was adopted from rap. So it put Afro in everybody's face. Which is beautiful. Afro is beautiful. But we're coming into a new generation now where rap is taking its place again.
Okay, so my sense of rap, like I said, the OG sense, if I was to give you 3 names of rappers that I'm religious about, you'd have Nas in there, Rakim, and who else? Nas, Rakim, let me see, who else? I love Eminem, but most people would think that he's old school now. Does that fall under your category of people who you kind of like fashion after?
Of course, I listen to those people a lot.
So if I say, give me 3 rappers now, who would these names be? Whose names would you... Yeah, I've given you 3. Give me your 3.
First, I'll give you Notorious B.I.G.
All right. That's still old school, actually.
Of course,
All right.
Biggie was like the first rapper that really influenced me.
Yeah.
Then I'll give you Maze.
All right.
I like Maze because I learned a couple of things from him too.
Okay.
And then I'll give you Pac.
Okay. Not bad. So you're still vested in the old school.
Oh, of course. That's
but
rap
I see
itself.
That spice of new school in you and all.
Yeah.
So bringing it back to 2021 and trying to revive our rap culture, what extra are you going to be doing, or are you doing in the culture?
Well, first things first, I'm new school.
New school, definitely.
So definitely, you're going to see a lot of new school in my music. And then glamour.
Yeah. Oh, let's not forget, you also act as well.
Yeah, I'm an actor.
Tell us about that. How do you merge the two?
Well, I don't know how I merged the two, but I'm good at both things. When I'm rapping, I'm not really thinking of myself as an actor. I'm just rapping, I'm doing music, I'm writing my songs, I'm just in that vibe. When I'm on set acting, I don't put myself in that rapper vibe. I'm just in that character.
I get you.
Yeah, so they just operate separately.
You there with what's her name? Tinamba.
Yeah.
And that was actually you. I mean, with all the swag now, that's you speaking pidgin English and looking all natural. What's your experience in the Nigerian movie space been like?
It's been fun, actually. That was my first role, actually. It was really challenging at first, but I had to get into it. Acting, for me, is something that I've always been doing. Like, I've always been that overly excited guy who's giving out impressions and all.
Okay.
So people always tell me, go into acting. But it wasn't really something that I wanted to pursue first. Okay. I wanted to get established in my music and then maybe just delve into acting too.
All right.
But you know how things go.
Yeah.
I went for an audition and I got the role.
Yeah, I also saw a video of one of your tracks, and I liked the way it was all positioned, and I don't know, there's something about the video that, you know, there's apart from the rap culture, the acting ability, there's something else in there that I can't put my finger on. What is it exactly? Your background, where is it from?
I grew up in Benin.
In Benin?
Edo State, yeah.
Edo State, okay. It's still something, I don't know what it is. It's unique, to say the least, and I really like it. And I want to see more of it. Speaking of that, what more are we expecting? What projects are you on?
Yeah, I'm working on a couple of projects right now. I might be putting out a single in December.
Okay.
Yeah. I just shot a movie. It's called Symphony.
Okay.
It's coming out in cinemas in February next year.
All right. Well, fantastic.
Yeah, it's a really cool movie because for the first time, like you asked, how do I put the rapping and my music together?
So
for the first time, yes, I was playing the character of a guy who was a rap artist.
Nice.
Trying to make it in the Nigerian music industry.
That would definitely have come very easy.
Yeah, it was like playing myself in the script.
Exactly.
All right, well done, Mo Kross. Well done, well done.
Thank you.
I particularly like your name, Iyoha. What does it mean?
Wow, you just put me on the spot. Can we move past that? I don't know what it means.
Okay, great. Anyways, welcome to the kitchen. This is Chef C, and this morning he's made for you unripe plantains with sea sauce.
What?
Yeah,
awesome.
I know that you're new to the crab family.
Yeah.
But we are welcoming you in.
Okay.
So we'd just like you to have a little bit of the crab and let us know what you think about it. All right, over to you, sir. Here you go.
Thank you.
Enjoy.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
So it's important that you taste every bit of what's on your plate and let us know what you think.
I love boiled plantains, actually.
All right, fantastic.
Yeah.
And they're
so let's
healthy.
start with that.
Yeah.
And some.
So you want to, okay, great. Looks good, by the way, Chef C. Well done, well done, well done. Love it, like it.
Really do. Okay, time to taste the crabs now.
Okay. You're being so... You can help yourself with a knife.
No, I'm good, thanks.
Okay, great.
Yeah. Does it have any soft spots?
That's why I said you need the knife, because you have to crack it open.
Oh, okay.
Anyways, but you like it. On a scale of 1 to 10, you want to give it a rating?
Let me taste the crab.
Okay.
And then I'll rate it.
Okay. Like it?
Really, really cool.
So we're having crabs again?
Yes.
So yeah,
it's actually my first time having crabs, actually.
All right, great. You can officially tell everyone now that, you know, you tasted crab for the first time on Wake Up Nigeria. Thank you so much for being here, by the way. And of course, we still have Mazino and Mike on the couch. Anything you'd like to say?
Yeah, but I can't wait to get my own crab, so hey, that's all I have to say. Just say something to me.
Don't worry, we have enough to go around. And thank you all for being on the show today, for watching the show. Thanks to all our guests. You all have been amazing, amazing, amazing. Winfrey?
We'll be here same time tomorrow, so make sure you keep it locked right here. In fact, don't touch that dial. If you have to touch it, increase the volume. Thank you so much.
Yes, yes, and thank you, Chef C, for being here. And you all have an amazing day ahead. Mwah. Bye-bye.